Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. Out here at the junkyard. Mate is disappointed we don't have a wheelbarrow. We drove the taxi. Let me check a couple things real quick, and if they're not already loose, grab it from this car. Here we are, folks, at San Antonio, Texas. Just left the junkyard, about to have some barbecue, and we are at the BB Smokehouse. I'll put the address in the link. Food must be good. This place is packed. There's no comforts at all. You do get to sit down, but it's hard wood. And about to see what their barbecue's like. I almost forgot that you guys know we got some fatty brisket, some lean brisket, sausage. All three are excellent. Green beans, excellent. Barbecue sauce, excellent. Tea, perfect. Nice little stop. Made a stop to check somebody's cruise, and man, their cruise pump was all jacked up. This piece here is not in right, so I'm gonna reset that, and that's probably gonna fix this cruise. And that is how that is supposed to look, folks. Dan the man, here's the pumps, buddy. We count like 120 gas pumps at this place. Man, if you guys haven't heard of a Buc-ee's, this place is insane. The craziest gas station you ever want to stop at. And they are proud of their Texas style snacks and jerky and brisket, and this place is insane. And they have been known to have the cleanest bathrooms on the planet. This is a full-size one just east of San Antonio, heading towards headed towards Houston. A guy just said that he thinks this is supposed to be the largest one they got on the planet, and this is about the size of the one they had in Kentucky near Bowling Green. Place is insane. Woo woo! Brisket on the board. This place.
Head east toward East Pierce Street.
Yep, just east of San Antonio, heading towards Houston. Desserts. Look at the coffee centers. Yep. This is a place to hang out. If you can't find your snacks here, you ain't looking for no snack. Told my wife I wanted some chips to nibble on. I guess I could find chips here. Oh my gosh. And they actually got a Buc-ee boy. A Buc-ee boy. I'm gonna get me a picture of Buc-ee. There he is, folks.
Thank you.
It's a Buc-ee. It's a Buc-ee. Very interesting concept, you know. They got folding chairs here. I don't know if you can sleep in them or not, but you could probably stow away in this place, be in here for weeks before they knew you were living here. Probably wouldn't know you were living here until you started getting mail. That's when they would know somebody's living here. We need to find them, get them out of here. Kicking off a cold day in Houston. You pull and pay. Can't even see the sign from here. They got signs out on the street, but not here. Anyway, gonna get some parts for our customer here in Houston. Houston area. Well, folks, man, S70 T5, beautiful car. Beautiful. I don't know why it's here. Probably blown head gasket. We tested the sunroof. The sunroof opened kind of easy. Didn't want to go close. The headliner is in great shape. I think this car has been garaged. We took the sunroof trim. We took the ECC. We went to get the clock spring. Clock spring has mounts broke. I don't need that. Showed me to how to get a few things loose. We took one of these side things. This dome light, man, is in like perfect shape. We did get the little inserts for that. The center console on this thing is perfect. Can't get this back door open. I'm getting ready to open the trunk so that I can get the clips that secure the little trunk thing there. So let me go ahead and do that, and we'll probably be done here. Oh, these roof trims are like perfect. The sunroof's in good shape, but I'm gonna get these because people need them for their 850s and S70s. So let me pull these, then we'll be out of here. If anybody wants to know how this trim comes off of this window area, it has 3 latches on the back. One here, one here, one here. The bottom in the middle is kind of glued, and then it's got 3 latches on the front. You pop them out, and they kind of hook out, so from the inside you can pry them out, forward and out, and they come out. Let me get them out. It's kind of hard with the door closed. It works better with the door open. But you see, there's a catch in there that catches them. And you got one at the top, one at the bottom. And that's it. You can actually do it without bending it, like I just did. We are at this Chinese restaurant here, kind of North Houston. Man, this food is good. Come get you some. And look how beautiful Mita is. Oh, look like she's ready for her movie scene. Here we are, folks, kicking off the Tinker Day, back at it. This T5. I forgot to get those fuel injectors yesterday. We'll have to see if they fit in Mita's pocket. We're gonna start off the day by getting that door open. Looked like somebody tried. I don't know if they tried today or yesterday, or if it was like that yesterday, but we gotta try to get that door open. We're gonna get the dash, the seat skins, and a few more things. Probably a couple wheels, because I have a couple of these wheels that are damaged at home. Wouldn't be a bad idea to have a spare one or two. So let's get cracking. Starting on this door, trying to get it unlocked. Let's see if it's gonna be easy or hard. Screw still in it. Door panel thing. This thing is in the way. I'm gonna pull this up as if to unlock the door, and it opens right up. That was the easiest one ever. Yay! Now we're gonna take the seat out so we can get the seat skin off of it. Somebody's got this thing dirtied up, but hey, one task at a time. While Mita is taking the dash out, man, she's getting at it. I have one seat stripped down, about to strip down another seat. Now here's the airbag in this little container here. That's what blows when the airbag blows. I don't have a safety on there, so I got to be careful. I'm gonna move this seat out of the way and bring the other one over. Strip it down, take the bottom cushion and strip off the top. We are locked and loaded, folks. Way far away from our new headliner. So we're going to call it, I guess, a day for now. We got to go unload this stuff and prepare to start putting some of it on the vehicle. And we got to go get lunch. It's 4:30. Hadn't had lunch. And had a good day. Need to help me get that windshield. And that was amazing. Kicked off the Tinker Day. Got everything unloaded from the salvage yard. Man, we were so proud of this dash. Even though it was stuck to the firewall, could not get it out. When we pulled it out, of course, it broke a couple of mounts, so we got those pieces to reattach and fix this dash with one method or another. However, you see all the busted pieces in this one from an accident and the busted windshield, so we got a windshield too. But got bigger fish to fry right now. We're going to kick off the Tinker Day with putting this fuel pump into this yellow sedan. We believe this yellow sedan has an original pump, and it's got intermittent stalling and starting issues, and it's leaving the owner stranded around town. So we think it's the fuel pump. We're going to do that first and then move on to a big fish to fry, which is to try to get this car to crank. We got a no crank issue. It's a 2000 V70. It was in an accident, and it was towed back here after repairs, which tells me they probably had problems starting it too. The owner said they started it, pulled it off the trailer, and he started it the next day, drove it around the neighborhood, hadn't started since, which has been several months. So we're going to figure out what's preventing this thing from cranking, get it fired up and running, and then we will deal with some of the other issues it has after that. One of the issues it has is it has a seat that has been eaten up by battery acid. Even though the door won't open, battery acid ate up that seat, and that seat is a booster seat. So if you know somebody that has a booster seat for a P80 split seat driver's side, we need the lower part of that seat, which has the child booster in it. That section right there pops up for a child booster. I'll show you that later. But for now, we're gonna get this yellow car running. Woo woo! Here we go, folks. About to hit this fuel pump. Look at these crossover networks. He got a stereo in here that sounds amazing. Anyway, not what I'm here for. Here for something else. Oh wow, I've been waiting for this. One of my first 850 doors that will not open. That thing comes out that far, but it will not open. And I try to lift up on that locking pin, and it will not come up. So this is one of my first ones that I've had do this. I'm gonna disconnect the battery, see if that matters. I don't know if power's pulling it down, but I can't get that up. Can't get it open from the inside or out. Let's troubleshoot this after we do the fuel pump. Wow, doesn't look like we have a working odometer here. And you know there's a lot of myths about fuel pumps and this, that, and the other. I'm checking the fuel level. Man, we got about 13 gallons in this car. Maybe more, it's on a little bit of a hill. But I just wanted to know how much fuel I had in here. You see we got the service light flashing, so something's going on with the cluster. We got those lights flashing there, something's going on with the ECC. Let's see if this thing fires up. Yeah, it stumbled and fired up. Let's see if it shuts down. After running a little while. Still got a instrument cluster flashing. A lot of times when that instrument cluster goes out like that, it quits counting mileage as well. We got an A-pillar that's not installed here. Hood liner is out. It's got one of these automatic dimmable mirrors. Unfortunately, it's got a cloud in it. I don't know if you can see that cloud, but it's got a cloud right in the middle of that thing. And sunroof is struggling. You hear it squelching trying to go down. It goes down, but you gotta hit it down a couple of times. I don't know if that's got something to do with the transmission. And the car just stumbled and died. So, didn't hear the fuel pump running. See if it starts back up. I don't hear the fuel pump. So, let's go replace the fuel pump. So, here we go. I don't think we have much fuel. Yeah, it's just a dribble there. No pressure. So, there's a myth that fuel pumps just go out and never work again. And sad to say, that's not true. My daughter taught me better than that. She had a fuel pump fail when she was in downtown Cincinnati. And when she replaced that fuel pump with one of my viewer supporters, that car fired up and she said it cured 5 problems. One of the problems was long cranks. Another problem was stumbling. Another problem was poor performance. She just wasn't getting the performance that she used to get. It didn't have any kick at high RPMs. Another problem was fuel consumption and then random stalling. Well, her replacing that fuel pump cured all those things. So fuel pumps just don't quit. They a lot of times stumble and stuff like that. Another common issue on cars in general, and especially these older P80 Volvos built in the mid-90s, is the sunroofs are leaking. If you look at this sunroof, you got a hump in the seal right there. Many have tried to replace these seals to no avail. These seals are put on with a machine. You could buy the seal, but you really can't get it on. This has more bulging in that corner there. And what generally happens when that corrosion happens, this seal has metal in it as well as rubber, and it's some kind of vacuum sealed attached to the glass. Water starts getting in there when it rains or car wash, whatever, and it starts dripping in the car. It misses the tray that captures the water. Normally, these sunroofs are not sealed units, and the water gets past the seal, it lands in this tray and it drains through drain tubes. You got a drain tube there, you got a drain tube there, and you got 2 in the back, one there and one on the other side. But when this seal is leaking, the water leaks past this part of the glass assembly and drips inside the car. It misses the seal. Sometimes it'll get caught on your little material, your sunshade, put a water stain on that. But a lot of people like to have that shade open like I do if I don't have my rooftop box up there, and water will drip in on the corners. Again, it doesn't get caught in the tray. It gets caught on this part of the sunroof and drips in the car. So that's a common thing with these cars. If your sunroof is getting eaten up, get you another sunroof glass assembly. I have started to pull those out of the salvage yard, and I store them until somebody contact me, let me know they need them. And they're a little pricey to ship because of the size and weight, but if you don't want your sunroof leaking, it's easy replacement and it's cheap, so compared to dealer costs. So if you need a glass, let me know. If I got one, I'll send you one. If not, I'll have to keep my eye open for one that isn't rotted out. Now, if I had to guess by the looks of how dark and dirty the top of that fuel pump is, I would say it's original. That would make that fuel pump 30 years old. Now, my opinion, when it comes to fuel pumps, I would probably replace it every 20 years as a maintenance item. This fuel pump can be replaced in less than 20 minutes. Boom, you're done. Easy job. You could get pumps as low as $65 for these cars. If you want to get a good one, get a good one. Whatever. Replace them every 20 years. Every 200,000 miles if they last that long. Or when you start getting bad fuel pump symptoms. You can wait till it ultimately fails, leave you stranded, you get tows home and all these other things, but as preventive maintenance, 20 years, 200,000 miles when you get the symptoms. That's just my take. Let me keep moving, getting this thing replaced. Again, here's symptoms that this is an original pump. Number one, the top of this pump is extremely dirty. They're normally white, this one has yellow. Number two, the wire sleeve is red. I don't think they've been doing that for a while. Number three, this pump does not have an additional ground wire lead on it. A lot of these pumps, once they've been replaced after 2005, they have a little wire that comes off of here. It's an additional ground lead. So those are the symptoms, other than failure, that this is an original pump assembly. Now, this thing doesn't have the float with it. The float is under this part of the car. The sending unit is different than the fuel pump assembly. One sure way to destroy a fuel pump is to have old gas in the tank. As you can see, this sock is totally eaten away. It's probably sucked some of that material up into the pump assembly. The rubber gasket around the pump is deteriorating, and I'm willing to guess this is from old gas, likely gas with ethanol in it. I tell people, don't have gas in your car for longer than 90 days. So if you're driving a car less than 200 miles every 90 days, don't put more than a quarter of a tank of gas in it. Drive it until a low fuel light comes on, and then put maybe 4 or 5 gallons in it, half a tank at the most. There's a myth that running a fuel tank low on gas destroys the fuel pump. That is a myth. I run my tank until the low gas light comes on several times a week. I just don't have any desire to stop and put a half a tank of gas in the car. Especially when I'm traveling, I drive until the low fuel light comes on, and then I find a gas station and fill it up. That's 3 gallons left in the tank. I have pumps that last 200 plus thousand miles, 230, stuff like that. It's a myth that running them low on gas makes them go bad, makes the fuel pump go bad. But you can hold on to that thought if you'd like. But this is an example, I think, of a pump that probably met a grave due to old gas getting in there, eating up the seals, the sock, the gasket, and whatever's inside of it. So again, if you have a vehicle that you only drive once every while, don't put a bunch of gas in that thing. Run that thing low, keep the tank low. These tanks are plastic. We don't have metal tanks in cars anymore. Those plastic tanks don't rust with gas in them. And this tank may look clean in there. Let's take a look. But definitely this sock material's gone, and some of this rubber gasket material's gone. And we're going to change a fuel filter as well. Let's look down in this tank, see if it looks... Ooh, that looks nasty. We got material in there that needs to be cleaned up. Other than that, it looks pretty clean. This car was driven a decent amount lately, but prior to that, especially through COVID, very little driving. So we're going to try to suck that dirt up out of there before we put in the new pump. So this is it. Jacked up original pump. The connectors from this original OE pump would not work on the new pump. And the polarity on this pump, you see here to the left is the plus, to the right is the minus. And on this pump, to the left is the minus, to the right is the plus, with the spades down. So we had to reverse the polarity in the plug. But anyway, everything on these wires, connectors, the little plastic casings on them, broke. And on the original pump, the ground is smaller than the positive. And on the new pump, those spades look equal. So we wired in the new pump, and this new pump is, I thought it was like, yeah, if you put them side by side, the new pump's about a 1/4 inch shorter than the original pump. You see the tip there. And they did not send any new hose. This is special hose for being submerged in the tank. This hose is super expensive. 6 inches is probably $45, $50. So this hose is a little short, a 1/4 inch shorter than what needs to be. So this pump may be a 1/4 inch off of the bottom of the tank, which means the car may run out of gas with a 1/2 gallon of gas in it, maybe as much as a gallon. So just be aware of that. Putting in a new pump when you're rebuilding the pump assembly. Now, on a pump this old wiring, old seals, old connectors, old casing, all that stuff, if you know it's 30 years old, I would probably get a whole new sending unit, so you don't have certain things maybe had rotted away in the tank, especially on a situation like this, where this car sat for 9 years with old gas in the tank. This thing was probably running without a fuel sock for a while, and anything that gets sucked up in the tank, which is rare in these times because gas stations just run their own filter system. The odds of something getting in your tank at the gas station is slim, but we seen there's stuff in this gas tank. But look at all this stuff that crumbled off the pump assembly. We can't blame that on the gas station. The sock, the seal, the gasket, all that stuff came off of the OEM pump that's 30 years old. I'm surprised the hose is still good, but it is submergible hose, and unfortunately we're going to have to reuse that because the kit, the fuel pump kit they sent us, did not have that in it. So we're going to put this in. The gasket on the bottom of the pump is rotted away. We don't have that to absorb vibration. This pump is going to be rattling around in the bottom of this sending unit. Not a real big deal, but hey, we got to make sure our line is tight, our connectors are tight without stress on them, and we should be okay. Well, I stand corrected. I went to push this fuel line on this pump, and the line is cracking. It's cracking around the clamp. It's cracking on the area there, and you see it's wet. We got to get some new fuel lines. So let me get on here and see where I can find some fuel line at. I went to the auto parts store because they promised me they had immersible fuel line, and they did not. I handed the guy the hose like this with 2 clamps on it. He dropped one, kept walking. So I picked it up because I didn't need him losing my thing. But look how many cracks that hose has now. Anyway, we had to get on Amazon and order some immersible in-tank high pressure fuel line so that we could put this fuel pump in. In the meantime, we're going to get started on this car and figure out why it won't start. Let's get cracking. It won't even crank, so we have a no crank situation. Well, whoever put this car back together after the accident had the hood cable just jacked up. So I fixed it, I thought, but I seen the cable was almost broken because of the way they had it jacked up. I told the owner, hey man, this cable's about to break. We need to get another cable out of here. Anyway, long story short, they closed the hood, put it in the garage yesterday or the day before. I just tried to open the hood, nothing. Normally you have to get this light out and try to open the hood by getting at the latch. So I just told Mita, hey, we got to be careful we don't break this light. I might be able to get it. Man, I grabbed that light, barely touched it, and it slid right off. So this light was already broke, even though it looked good. they had already busted the tab on it. I could see where a screw had been in it to screw it to that, but even that's gone now. Anyway, we're gonna try to get in here and get this hood off. You can see some of the metal there is still mangled from the accident. And there's a sheet metal screw in there holding it together. Well, I messed with some wires and stuff and got it to crank and start. So let me shut it down, put it back together, and see if we can keep getting it to crank and start. Crazy thing. I made sure a few plugs were plugged in all the way, because a lot of these plugs, the latches are busted, so they just unplug. I rolled the engine over. I checked continuity, made sure it had a good ground, made sure it had power going to a few spots, and messed with this thing a little bit, and it fired up. Of course, the turbo piping not plugged in, and the cooling fan didn't let it run long, but it stayed running even with the turbo piping unplugged. You see this here looks like the spring seat's torn out, which it is. You can turn that around. We still got coolant in there. Well, I don't know if that's coolant, that's mold. It might be water. Coolant normally doesn't mold. So let me put the coolant fan in here and fire this thing up. Let it run for 30 minutes or so. See if it'll stay running. Found another issue. The fan shroud is busted on this thing. It's supposed to have a tip like that. This one's busted off. Probably pick this up from the salvage yard tomorrow. So let me go ahead and drop this one in for the meantime. It also should have the fan mod to get the fan away from the engine, get a little more space. Definitely got to do something about this hood cable that's jacked up on here, and keep moving forward. No idea what's going on with this hood cable. I don't know. Definitely ain't routed the right way. I'll take a closer look at that after I get this back together and get the car running again. Next up, the mystery of the locked door. First thing I'm gonna try to do is remove power from it there. So let me go in here and see if I could pull the lock up and open it. The car is unlocked. As you can see, do, 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 do. 3 and no. See how far that pulls open for it to unlock. Let's go inside, see if we can get that button up. That latch being bad, that's gonna be a bad idea. Comes almost even there. Do, 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 do. Getting the fuel odor in the car, so my little deal with aluminum foil is not good enough to keep the odor out, so I need to do something about that. But really bad idea to set things on your leather and leave it. It stretches the leather. I can't get the pin to come up, first of all. I'm going to undo the pin, put some pliers on there, see if I can get it to come up with some pliers so I don't destroy the pin. Well, that thing is kind of down in the hole a little bit without that knob on there. See if we can put some needle nose down there and grab it. I couldn't get in there with needle nose pliers, couldn't pull it up, so I put the button back on, tried to pull it up, and the button broke off. So the next thing to do is to take the seat out, get the door panel off best you can, and then go at the latch in there. So let me get this stuff out of the way so I can get this door panel off. If you made it this far, I trust that you found some information that was either useful or entertaining, so go ahead and hit the like button. And if you would like notification of future videos that I post, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support. You can follow me on other social media apps by looking for @RobertDIY. Some form of that should bring up the other channels that I have on places like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and so forth. If for some reason you need some more personal help, go to my website at robertdiy.com and use the phone number that I have posted there to send me a text message, or you can email me. If you have questions or comments, please make a comment below. And if you'd like to make some kind of financial contribution to what I got going on here, go to my channel and hit the more link at the end of the introduction statement, and it'll show you different ways that you can support me financially. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day.